Hi everyone! For our project, I'll be discussing an alternative financial service product called the Rush Card Live Prepaid Visa Card. This presentation will walk through how the card works, its cost, benefits, and which regulators oversee it. I'll also share a few insights about what we learned while researching this topic. Here's what we'll be covering today: a company overview, details about the transaction, the major terms, fees, benefits, and finally the federal, state, and local regulators that monitor these types of financial products. The first section gives us a look at the company behind RushCard, followed by a simple transaction that shows how the card works in real life. I'll go over the main terms of the cardholder agreements and show how the fees are structured. Then I'll explain the benefits and the convenience that attract consumers to prepaid cards, and finally we'll look at which regulators are responsible for protecting users of these products. RushCard Live is part of the Green Dot Corporation, a company that specializes in prepaid cards and other financial products. RushCard was originally founded by Russell Simmons in 1999 as one of the first prepaid Visa cards marketed to people without traditional bank accounts. Green Dot later acquired the brand and now manages all of its operations. CashCard Live is not a credit card, which means you can only spend what you load onto it. That means there's no interest or debt involved. It also doesn't affect your credit score because there is no credit check or reporting that takes place. The card can accept direct deposits from paychecks or government benefits, and you can reload it with cash at stores like CVS or Walmart. To simulate using the card, I created a transaction example where $400 is added each month for 2 months. To open a Rush Card account, users must verify their identity with a photo ID and social security number, plus provide their date of birth and address. This helps meet federal anti-money laundering requirements. These are the main terms of the card agreement. The card charges a monthly fee and small transaction fees for reloading or ATM withdrawals. Overdrafts aren't allowed, so purchases will simply decline if funds are low. If the card isn't used for 90 days, there's an inactivity fee. Legal disputes fall under Utah law because that's where the green dot is based out of. Amount and timing of fees and charges. Say for a 2 month period, the total cost comes around to $18.35. That includes an activation fee, 2 monthly fees, and one ATM withdrawal fee. It shows how small charges can add up over time for people who rely on prepaid cards. This table breaks down the timing of each fee. The most consistent cost is the monthly maintenance fee, which repeats whether you use the card often or not. Here are some additional examples of possible fees that users might pay. For instance, reloading cash at a retailer like CVS costs about $4.95 per transaction. Checking your balance at an out-of-network ATM might cost around 50 cents. If the card is lost or damaged, getting a replacement card is about $3.95. And if the card isn't used for 90 days, there's a $5.95 inactivity fee. These small charges can add up quickly, especially for people who use a card regularly or for everyday spending. Benefits of transaction. One advantage is how easy it is to get a Rush card. There's no credit check or bank account required. It's widely accepted and can receive direct deposits, making it useful for people paid electronically but who don't have a traditional checking account. Other benefits: funds on registered cards are FDIC insured, which adds safety compared to holding cash. The mobile app lets users check balances and view transactions anytime, which is helpful for budgeting. The main draw of prepaid cards is convenience and simplicity. Several agencies share oversight of prepaid cards. The CFPD protects consumers and requires clear fee disclosures. The FDIC ensures deposited funds, and the Federal Reserve ensures compliance with electronic transfer laws. In Georgia, the Department of Banking and Finance licenses and monitors companies like Green Dot. Locally, people can contact the Better Business Bureau or Consumer Protection offices for help. Federal regulators. The CFPD enforces the prepaid rule that requires companies to clearly disclose all fees before purchase. The FDIC protects the customers if the issuing bank fails. The Federal Reserve enforces rules that make sure the cardholder's funds are transferred securely and fairly. State regulators. Each state has its own oversight system. In Georgia, the Department of Banking and Finance regulates prepaid card issuers and money transmitters. They make sure companies operate legally and handle customers' funds responsibly. Local regulators. At the local level, customers can report issues or complaints to the Better Business Bureau or a local consumer protection office. These groups can mediate disputes between customers and prepaid card providers. Personal insights. While working on this project, I learned some things. It made me realize how important prepaid cards are for people without access to traditional banking. They offer flexibility, but the fees can be expensive for long-term use. I also learned how vital financial literacy and regulations are to help people avoid unnecessary cost. Thank you for listening to our presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions or hear your comments if you have any, and I hope you learned more about prepaid cards.